When tax season comes, you find yourself sitting at the kitchen table, holding your W-2 form, clearly seeing how much the government has taken from you this year. You worked an entire year, lost sleep at night, spent your weekends working, endured stress, and in the end, you realize that for 3 to 4 months of the year, you essentially worked for the government for free. You feel both anger and helplessness because you've always been told that paying taxes is a requirement of a civilized society. Then you come across a post on social media. Billionaires pay less tax than you do. Owners of massive tech companies and real estate moguls live luxurious lives while reporting almost no income to the IRS. You think to yourself, is this fair? It feels like there's some kind of trick involved. And the uncomfortable truth most people don't want to see is this. Yes, there is a trick, but not in the way you think. They're not breaking the law. They're just playing a completely different game with different rules than the ones you were taught. Most people believe that the path to wealth is earning a high salary and saving what's left. In reality, the wealthy understand that salary income is the most heavily taxed money. Trying to get rich from a salary is like running with weights on your feet. I'll explain step by step how the top 1% almost completely avoids taxes. The system is called buy, borrow, die. By the end of this, you'll understand how a high salary can actually trap you and how you can start using these strategies even if you're not a billionaire yet. To understand why the rich don't pay taxes, you must first see the fundamental difference between how you earn money and how they do. When you earn a salary, taxes are taken out before the money even reaches your account. Federal and state governments take their share, and part goes to Social Security. What remains is just enough for you to pay your bills and live your life. In finance, this is called the W-2 trap. You sell your time and pay the highest taxes. Wealthy people don't sell time. They turn money into assets. This is where the first step comes in. Buy. The rich focus not on monthly income, but on total wealth. They invest their money into stocks, real estate, or businesses. Here's the key detail most people miss. When an asset increases in value, you don't pay taxes on that gain until you sell it. This is called an unrealized gain. If you buy an Amazon stock for $100 and it rises to $1,000, you have a $900 gain on paper. But the IRS can't touch it. That money continues to grow tax-free. That's why you hear about billionaires whose wealth increases by billions in a year while paying no income tax, because that wealth is locked inside assets, not sitting as cash in a bank account. The rich know the moment you sell, you trigger taxes, so they don't sell. But then comes the question, if their money is tied up in assets and they don't sell, how do they afford luxury lifestyles? This leads to the second step, borrow. We're taught that debt is bad, but for the wealthy, debt is a tool, not a burden. It's a way to access wealth without triggering taxes. Instead of selling assets and creating a large tax bill, they go to a bank and use their assets as collateral to take out loans. This is often called a securities-backed loan. A bank looks at a $10 million portfolio and says, we can lend you $5 million at a low interest rate. Here's the magic. Loans are not considered income. They are not taxed. So when that $5 million hits their account, the IRS doesn't treat it as income. They can spend it tax-free. What about interest? Yes, they pay it. But if the loan costs 3 to 4% and their investments grow at 8 to 10%, they're still making a profit. This is called positive arbitrage. They live off borrowed money while their wealth continues to grow. Now compare that to your situation. You earn income, pay 30 to 40% tax, then try to invest what's left. The rich skip the tax step entirely and let their money compound without interruption. The final step, die. It sounds harsh, but this is where estate planning comes in. What happens to the debt, you might ask? When a wealthy person dies, their heirs inherit the assets. Due to tax rules, something called a step-up in basis occurs. If your grandmother bought a stock for $10 and it's now worth $500, selling it before death would trigger tax on $490 profit. But if she passes it on to you, it's treated as if it was bought at $500. That massive tax bill disappears. If you sell it the next day, you pay 0 tax. The cycle is complete. Assets are transferred tax-free, debts are settled, wealth is preserved, and the system resets.